The world of the NFL is as unpredictable as it is electrifying. And when a young star like Shedeur Sanders steps onto the scene, the spotlight grows even brighter. The son of the legendary Deion Sanders, Shedeur entered the league carrying not just his family's iconic legacy, but also the weight of a city's hopes. For the Cleveland Browns, his arrival wasn't just about signing a rookie, it was the dawn of what many believed could be a bold new chapter for the franchise. His debut at minicamp turned heads immediately, delivering a jaw-dropping completion rate and showcasing the kind of arm strength and composure rare in someone so early in their professional journey. The buzz around Cleveland was undeniable. Shedeur wasn't just a player, he was a promise of better days ahead. But like every great sports story, the path to greatness is never without its share of challenges. As the weeks unfolded, the optimism surrounding Shedeur's immediate future began to face serious tests. Despite his flashes of brilliance, the Browns' front office found itself at a crossroads. The pressure to deliver results in a league where patience is a luxury has forced Cleveland to reevaluate its quarterback situation. Reports began to swirl about the team exploring potential trades, sending shockwaves through fans and raising questions about where exactly Shedeur fits in the Browns' long-term plans. For any young player, these early career uncertainties can be tough. But for someone in Shedeur's position, carrying a famous last name in the eyes of an entire league, the stakes are even higher. Off the field, Shedeur has proven to be a magnetic personality. His interactions with fans, his confidence in front of the media, and his natural charisma have made him a standout figure beyond the gridiron. Yet with all that attention comes immense pressure. The expectation to perform isn't just about throwing touchdowns. It's about embodying the hopes of a franchise hungry for success. And as head coach Kevin Stefanski and the Browns' decision-makers weigh their options, the microscope on Shedeur intensifies. Every practice, every throw, and every media soundbite now carries extra weight as Cleveland's quarterback conundrum deepens. Still, within this storm lies a rare opportunity. While it might seem like a setback for Sanders, it's also a chance for growth that many quarterbacks don't get so early in their careers. Learning how to handle adversity, observing how seasoned veterans weather similar storms, and adapting to the ruthless, ever-changing dynamics of professional football can shape a young player into a future leader. Sanders has the chance to channel these experiences into refining his skills and mental toughness, preparing himself for whatever role he might be asked to take on in the weeks and months ahead. Ultimately, the unfolding saga of Shedeur Sanders in Cleveland is a powerful reminder of how unpredictable the NFL can be. It's a league where hype and potential can quickly give way to business decisions, and where resilience often separates good players from great ones. Though the road ahead is uncertain, one thing remains clear: Shedeur's story is far from over. Whether he's leading the Browns on Sundays or learning from the sidelines, the determination and spark that brought him to this point are still very much alive. And as every football fan knows, it's not how you start but how you respond when faced with adversity that truly defines a player's legacy. The Cleveland Browns are standing at one of the most crucial crossroads in recent franchise history. With the new NFL season fast approaching, the conversation surrounding the team isn't about their defense, their draft picks, or even their coaching changes. It's about their quarterbacks. And not just who will start, but who might not even be in Cleveland when the regular season kicks off. Yes, the Browns find themselves in the middle of a quarterback conundrum, and the stakes couldn't be higher. As any football fan knows, the quarterback isn't just another position on the field. It's the heartbeat of a team, the one player who can make or break an entire season. In Cleveland, the quarterback room is filled with a mix of raw potential, veteran presence, and unfortunately, underwhelming performances. The front office and coaching staff now face the daunting task of evaluating their options and deciding the future of a player who's quietly earned the title of the clunkiest quarterback on the roster. It's a harsh label, but in a league where every snap counts, inconsistency under center is a liability no team can afford. But this isn't just about numbers on a stat sheet. Sure, touchdowns, interceptions, and completion percentages matter, but so do the intangibles. Leadership in the locker room, composure in high-pressure moments, the ability to rally teammates after a tough loss. These are qualities that don't show up in the box score but often define a great quarterback. The Browns are searching not just for someone who can run an offense, but someone who can inspire belief in the huddle and confidence throughout the entire organization. And yet with change comes uncertainty. Moving on from a quarterback who hasn't met expectations might seem like the obvious decision, but it opens up a new set of challenges. Is there a capable successor ready to step in? Will a new quarterback adapt quickly to the team's playbook and philosophy? How will the locker room respond to the shakeup? In a league known for its brutal pace and unforgiving competition, the margin for error is razor thin. The Browns have already experienced their fair share of turbulence in recent seasons, and another misstep at the quarterback position could derail what otherwise looks like a promising campaign. As the preseason unfolds, every snap, every throw, and every decision on the field is being scrutinized. Coaches are watching for poise under pressure, precision in execution, and the ability to command the offense when it matters most. These performances will ultimately decide who earns the coveted QB1 role and who might find themselves on the trade block or released before the season opener. It's a high-stakes audition that could shape the entire trajectory of the Browns' year and perhaps their long-term future. In the end, this quarterback decision isn't just about filling a position. It's about defining the identity of the Cleveland Browns moving forward. Will they double down on potential and hope for improvement, or will they boldly pursue a new direction in search of stability and leadership under center? One thing is certain, the weight of expectation is heavy in Cleveland, and the next few weeks could determine whether this team finally takes the next step or remains stuck in a cycle of rebuilding and missed opportunities. So as fans, analysts, and the entire NFL world watch closely, one question remains: who will lead the Cleveland Browns into battle this season? And more importantly, will that choice finally bring the franchise the consistency and success it has long been chasing? Stay tuned, because the Browns quarterback saga is far from over, and the next chapter promises to be one of the most pivotal in recent memory. As the Cleveland Browns gear up for the highly anticipated 2025 NFL season, all eyes are on their intriguing quarterback situation. Among the names making waves is rookie Shedeur Sanders, who currently holds the position of fourth-string quarterback on the team's depth chart. While it's almost certain that the Browns will carry a maximum of 3 quarterbacks into the season, Sanders finds himself facing a steep, uphill battle to secure a roster spot. After unexpectedly sliding to the 5th round of the 2025 NFL Draft and waiting over 600 minutes to hear his name called, Sanders arrived in Cleveland determined to prove his doubters wrong. And by all accounts, he's done just that during the team's recent minicamps. Joining the Browns alongside fellow rookie Dillon Gabriel and veterans Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett, Sanders entered a crowded and highly competitive quarterback room where the stakes couldn't be higher. Joe Flacco, the seasoned veteran and Super Bowl MVP, is widely viewed as the clear favorite to claim the starting job, while former first-round pick Kenny Pickett is, for now, considered the likely backup. That leaves rookies Gabriel and Sanders fighting for position, both battling to avoid the chopping block as the regular season approaches. But in a surprising twist, rumors about Sanders being an easy-cut candidate have started to quiet down. Respected insider Albert Breer of Sports Illustrated recently hinted that Sanders might no longer be fighting for the starting job, but rather for his spot on the team. There's growing belief that the Browns might prefer to keep both of their rookie quarterbacks while moving on from one of the veterans. And when it comes to veteran options, Kenny Pickett's future in Cleveland is looking increasingly uncertain. NFL Network's Daniel Jeremiah didn't hold back when asked about the quarterback competition, stating bluntly that both Sanders and Gabriel possess a significant edge over Pickett in terms of raw talent. According to Jeremiah, Pickett would need to perform light years ahead of both rookies to secure a roster spot, a tall order considering his inconsistent showings in recent years. In Jeremiah's eyes, Joe Flacco is merely a safety net in case neither rookie is deemed ready by week 1, but the ultimate plan might be to hand the reins to one of the young guns. Adding fuel to the speculation, NFL insider Mike Florio recently voiced his own suspicions, predicting that Pickett could be on the trade block before the season kicks off. While Florio admitted he hasn't received any direct information, he pointed out that reading between the lines suggests the Browns are invested in seeing what both Sanders and Gabriel can become long-term. Pickett, brought in as an early insurance policy, now appears to be the odd man out. Financially, moving on from Pickett makes sense too. He's nearing the end of his $14 million rookie contract, and parting ways would give the Browns much-needed flexibility in their salary cap situation. Meanwhile, reports coming out of Browns minicamp indicate that Shedeur Sanders has been turning heads. Over the past 3 weeks during OTAs, Sanders completed an outstanding 41 of 53 passes, racking up 9 touchdowns and only 1 interception in a 7-on-7 passing drill. Those numbers not only showcase his accuracy and poise, but also far outshine the performances of his quarterback peers. With the Browns now heading into a 4-week break before training camp kicks off on July 18th, the quarterback battle is far from settled. One thing's for sure, Shedeur Sanders is no longer just a long shot. He's firmly in the conversation, and the next chapter of this quarterback competition promises to be one of the most captivating storylines as the 2025 NFL season approaches. What's really happening inside the Cleveland Browns quarterback room? As we inch closer to the 2025 NFL season, the battle for the starting quarterback spot in Cleveland is heating up like never before. With experienced veteran Joe Flacco, former first-rounder Kenny Pickett, and rookies Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders all in the mix, the competition has become one of the most talked-about storylines of the offseason. But after the Browns wrapped up their mandatory minicamp on June 12th, new reports suggest one name might already be pulling ahead, and it's not who some analysts thought it would be. Throughout the Browns' mandatory minicamp, Joe Flacco, the 40-year-old Super Bowl MVP, made his presence felt not just with his arm, but with his experience and leadership. Despite his age, Flacco remains the best pure passer on the Browns roster, and according to multiple insiders, he's quickly mastered Kevin Stefanski's offense. During his 2023 stint with Cleveland, Flacco stepped in as a late-season savior, winning 4 of his 5 starts and carrying the Browns into the playoffs. That stretch not only solidified his value to the locker room, but also earned him the trust of both the coaching staff and his teammates. Now heading into the new season, it appears Flacco's steadiness and proven track record are giving him the edge in this year's quarterback battle. Interestingly, NFL media's Daniel Jeremiah recently appeared on The Rich Eisen Show and offered a bold prediction. He suggested that either Dillon Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders could emerge as the Browns' starting quarterback before August comes to a close. It was a surprising take, considering that neither rookie has taken an NFL snap, and both are adjusting to the speed and complexity of a pro-level offense. Jeremiah's prediction sparked plenty of conversation among fans and media, but Browns reporter Zach Jackson of The Athletic believes that claim might not age well. In an article published Monday, Jackson argued that even if Joe Flacco doesn't start all season or loses the job by midseason, the Browns made a wise decision by re-signing him in April on a 1-year deal. Jackson emphasized that Flacco's presence brings much-needed calm and veteran savvy to a team desperate to fix its struggling offense. Young players look up to him, and his leadership has been obvious throughout minicamp. While Kenny Pickett, acquired in the offseason, remains a contender, his performances so far have been described as unremarkable during minicamp sessions. Local reporters have consistently noted that the plan heading into the season was to choose between Flacco and Pickett for the Week 1 start against the Cincinnati Bengals on September 7th. Adding more intrigue to this competition is the situation surrounding rookie Shedeur Sanders. After sliding to the 5th round in this year's draft, Sanders arrived in Cleveland with plenty of hype, being one of the most marketable rookie quarterbacks of the class. While he showed flashes of promise during spring practices, off-the-field issues have recently clouded his standing. In June, it was reported that Sanders was cited for speeding in Ohio not once but twice, and even missed an arraignment for one of those incidents. While the Browns have yet to comment officially on whether this will affect his position on the depth chart, it certainly doesn't help his case in an already crowded quarterback room. As things stand, all signs point to Joe Flacco entering training camp as the frontrunner for the starting job. His command of the offense, rapport with the locker room, and steady performances in minicamp have put him ahead of Pickett, Gabriel, and Sanders. But in the NFL, especially under a head coach like Kevin Stefanski, who's known for valuing consistency, things can change fast. Training camp opens on July 22nd, and with preseason games and daily practices to come, there's still time for a rookie like Dillon Gabriel to make a push. As for Sanders, he'll need to stay focused both on and off the field if he hopes to climb up the depth chart. One thing's for sure, the Cleveland Browns quarterback competition is far from over, and every snap, every decision, and every headline could tilt the scales before Week 1 kicks off. Will the steady hand of Joe Flacco guide Cleveland's offense, or could an upstart rookie force the coaching staff to rethink their plans? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Who do you think should be the Browns' starting quarterback this season? Make sure to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more in-depth NFL updates and analysis. This story's just getting started, and you won't want to miss what happens next. The Cleveland Browns have found themselves in a curious position this offseason, one defined more by financial constraints than aggressive roster moves. While other teams across the NFL landscape were busy bolstering their lineups, Cleveland was largely quiet, and for good reason. Entering free agency, the Browns arguably had the worst salary cap situation in all of football. It left the front office with very little room to maneuver, forcing them to sit on the sidelines while bigger names found new homes elsewhere. But as training camp draws nearer and the summer reshaping of rosters continues, Cleveland has managed to create a little breathing room thanks to some post-June first roster cuts. And with that extra cap space, rumors have begun swirling about the possibility of a significant addition. One of the more surprising suggestions came from Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox, who floated the idea of the Browns pursuing Atlanta Falcons tight end Kyle Pitts. In his latest NFL trade big board following mandatory minicamp, Knox identified Cleveland as a potential landing spot for the former first-round pick. According to Knox, the Browns might be intrigued by Pitts, citing the team's willingness in recent years to take chances on talented players whose careers have, for one reason or another, fallen off track. It's a pattern we saw last offseason when Cleveland traded for wide receiver Jerry Jeudy, hoping to reignite his spark in a new environment. The idea here is that Pitts, a player once viewed as a can't-miss prospect, could also benefit from a fresh start. However, when you dig a little deeper, this potential trade scenario starts to feel a bit odd. Knox himself even acknowledged this contradiction in his article, pointing out that the Browns just selected tight end Harold Fannin Jr. in the third round of the 2025 NFL Draft. On top of that, veteran tight end David Njoku remains firmly entrenched on the roster, at least for now, as he heads into the final year of his contract. It raises a very valid question. Why would Cleveland invest draft capital and cap space into a position that, by most accounts, isn't a top priority? Adding another layer of complexity to this situation is the performance history of Kyle Pitts himself. The tight end burst onto the NFL scene in 2021 with an outstanding rookie campaign that earned him a Pro Bowl nod and solidified his status as one of the most promising young players in the league. But since that breakout year, Pitts has struggled to recapture that magic. Whether due to injuries, scheme issues, or inconsistency, his production has dipped considerably, leaving many to wonder if he'll ever reach the lofty expectations that accompanied his arrival in the league. Meanwhile, the Browns might actually be more inclined to move David Njoku than acquire yet another tight end. Njoku has been a steady presence in Cleveland's offense, but with his contract expiring soon and the addition of Fannin, the front office might view this as an opportunity to reshape the tight end room entirely. Trading for Pitts, who is also entering the final year of his deal, wouldn't offer much long-term security unless the team intended to immediately extend him. A risky proposition given his recent track record. While the idea of pairing Kyle Pitts with Deshaun Watson and Cleveland's emerging receiving core makes for an intriguing headline, it's a move that likely won't materialize. The Browns have more pressing needs on both sides of the ball, from bolstering the defensive line to adding depth at linebacker and in the secondary. With limited cap space and draft capital to work with, prioritizing a position that already has solid options under contract just doesn't seem like the smartest play. As it stands, this rumor appears to be more speculative filler than legitimate trade buzz. It's the kind of suggestion that pops up during the quieter months of the NFL calendar when fans and analysts alike are hungry for any scrap of transaction news. The Browns, having carefully navigated a difficult financial offseason, will almost certainly keep their focus on areas of genuine need as training camp approaches. While it's always possible that general manager Andrew Berry has a surprise up his sleeve, betting on Cleveland trading for Kyle Pitts seems like a long shot at best. And if the team does make a move, it's far more likely to involve parting ways with a tight end than adding another one to the mix. The NFL offseason is usually a time for rookies to focus on adjusting to the speed and demands of professional football. But for the sons of legendary Hall of Famer Deion Sanders, Shedeur Sanders, it's also become a time where off-the-field decisions have grabbed headlines for all the wrong reasons. The Cleveland Browns and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers each landed a Sanders this year. Shedeur Sanders, a high-profile fifth-round rookie quarterback trying to climb from the bottom of Cleveland's depth chart, and Shedeur Sanders, an undrafted free agent safety hoping to fight his way onto Tampa Bay's final roster. While their NFL futures remain uncertain, one thing both of Deion's sons seem to share is a sense of humor about situations most people would find anything but funny. Earlier this month, Shedeur Sanders made headlines for being pulled over for speeding, not once, but twice. The first incident occurred on June 5th when he was clocked going 91 miles per hour in a 65 zone. But it didn't stop there. Less than a week later, he was pulled over again, this time for driving 101 miles per hour in a 60 zone. To make matters worse, public records revealed that Shedeur failed to appear in court for the first ticket's arraignment just days before getting caught the second time. Rather than issuing a somber apology or acknowledging the seriousness of the situation, Shedeur seemed to downplay the incidents during a recent conversation. With a bit of a smirk, he said, "I know I be vibin', bruh. I'm just a little boy. I made some wrong choices, personally, and I gotta own up to 'em. I made some, not great choices. I learn from them, I learn. The casual, almost playful tone caught a lot of people off guard. After all, habitually speeding at rates of over 100 miles per hour is no joke, especially for someone carrying the weight of a famous last name and high expectations. But just when it seemed like the situation couldn't get any stranger, Shedeur Sanders decided to add his voice to the mix. And he did it with some gallows humor of his own. While speaking to media at the Buccaneers minicamp, Shedeur cracked a joke about his brother's speeding habits, saying, "I know we out here in Tampa, but we got to be careful crossing the street, especially if Shedeur is out here." He followed it up with a laugh, showing that both Sanders brothers might share a tendency to shrug off serious matters with humor. The reactions to these comments have been mixed. While speeding tickets are certainly a common enough issue for young athletes and celebrities alike, repeatedly driving at such dangerous speeds and then laughing it off raises fair concerns about maturity, decision-making, and personal accountability. It's a reminder that no matter how famous your surname might be, it doesn't give you immunity from making poor choices, and it certainly doesn't excuse behavior that could easily lead to tragedy. Their father, Deion Sanders, or Coach Prime as he's known today, built his career on confidence, charisma, and relentless work ethic. He's long preached discipline and personal responsibility to his players at Colorado and previously at Jackson State. It's surprising, then, to see his sons publicly making light of potentially dangerous situations. It leaves fans and critics alike wondering whether these young athletes fully grasp the weight of their actions or if they believe that their famous bloodline offers them a free pass. As training camps inch closer and roster cuts loom, both Shedeur and Shedeur have plenty of work ahead to secure their spots in the NFL. But if there's one thing this week has made clear, it's that talent alone won't be enough. Teams, fans, and league officials will be watching closely, not just for what these rookies do on the field, but for how they carry themselves off of it. In the NFL, character matters, and so do the choices you make when no one's looking. For now, both Sanders brothers have managed to turn a dangerous situation into a viral headline. Whether that becomes a footnote in their careers or a cautionary tale about entitlement in sports remains to be seen. Either way, the spotlight is firmly on the Sanders family once again, and not for the reasons they might have hoped.